What's up, Libra? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a full moon tarot reading for the full moon coming on August 30th, 2023. This will be a super blue moon, and it will be at 7 degrees Pisces at 9:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Super moon means that in its elliptical orbit, it is as close to the Earth as it gets, and that's called being in perigee, so it's going to look 14% bigger in the sky. Blue moon, you know the saying, once in a blue moon, it means it's a second full moon in a month, which is pretty rare. It will be in the 27th mansion of the moon. I will put a picture up that explains what this mansion is all about. It's good for healing. It's good for making money. It's not good for starting new projects. It's not good for traveling, but you can go ahead and read about it. This moon will also be conjunct big bad Saturn, the devil of astrology, and honestly, the basis of all evil and devils in all organized religions as we know them. This conjunction will also be opposite the sun. This conjunction will actually start for the moon in the sign of Aquarius and go into Pisces, as well as this opposition with Saturn and the sun started while the sun was in Leo and is making its way into Virgo. It's been going on for a little while. With that being said, it's going to be rough energies. For Libra, that conjunction will be in, for Libra ascendant only, it will be in the 6th or the 5th house. And honestly, the 6th house is the axis that it's on already, Pisces and Virgo, which is all about service, healing, the unconscious world, loss, dreamy, making, dreamy unconscious energy. So with it opposite the sun, it's going to be bringing things to light. It could be bringing sicknesses to light because Saturn is sickness. And the moon is the mother, so it could be bringing, and the 6th house being personal health, so it could bring like an ailment that you notice in yourself that gets brought to light that you have to get healed. And it'll get healed because this mansion's all about healing, and so is Pisces and Virgo. It can represent your mother too with the moon. So it could be that you find something in your mother, like an ailment, that gets brought to light so that she can be healed. It can also be because the 6th house and Virgo involve little pets. It could be a sickness in your little pet that you find, and then it gets brought to light and is healthy. It could also be your unconscious world. Your dreams could be very vivid, and they could be really dark dreams because Saturn's involved. But if that's the case, bring that forth to the light, acknowledge your dreams, and try to integrate and see what healing that'll give you. Well, this looks like a love reading. We'll see what the other cards say. And you got the lovers in the reading. Well, love reading. Love ring ink. And it's going to test our boundaries because Saturn is boundaries. The rings of Saturn are boundaries. So it's going to test our boundaries. It's going to test our faith and, what our boundaries are around our faith. And it's going to, and how we implement that in the world, our axioms, the way we, our beliefs about things. So it should be an interesting one. It'll be a couple days before and a couple days after that you'll feel the energy, which brings me to my next point. Something that may be good to do during this energy because it can be rough. So in the yogic practices, they do something called ekadashi, and they do it in India, and Hindus, they know it and they do it well. So yogis, they can find this day. It's basically fasting between 40 and 48 days. There's a specific day that your body is going to want to fast, and you're not going to need to eat so that your digestive system can reset itself. And the cycles of a human and the cycles of the universe are in tuned. For example, the menstrual cycle of a woman is on average 28 days. The cycle of the moon is 28 days. That's just a simple example. But yogis know these systems and their movements so well within their body and within the universe that they know this day automatically. But for the average individual, you're going to need to kind of fast some days to figure it out. So what they do in the yogic traditions is called ekadashi. They'll fast 3 days before the full moon and before the new moon and on the day of the full moon and the new moon to catch that day so that they can reset their digestive system and they can be healthy. If you can't physically fast, then I suggest trying to eat really light. Maybe just eat 1 meal a day at the end of the day because that's a tough fast, 4 days. But it'll benefit you because when you fast and you get into autophagy, and you should look that word up, I'm not making this up, your body will literally start to eat itself. But what it does is it eats the bad cells and feeds the good cells. It takes about 16 hours straight of fasting, that was the card, with no sugar of any kind, to get into autophagy, and you'll know it because you'll really start feeling drained, but your body will start eating its bad cells and feeding its good cells, and that will heal you. And you can look at the research on fasting. It's very healthy for you. But that's something you might, prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. But that may be something to consider. And also by fasting, you're naturally giving something up. So Saturn may be less likely to take something if he was going to take something. Also, if you're around the age of 27 to 30, 56 to 60, or around 90, that's your Saturn cycle. That's your Saturn return. That's when he's back to the place he was at your birth. So if you're around those ages right now and you're feeling this energy, it may be a little extra important for you because it's going to be in the place conjunct where your natal Saturn was. And when those things happen, major shifts happen in your life. I had a major shift in my life around 28. I became an entirely different man, and I'm grateful for the shift. Saturn taught me some valuable lessons. You notice a lot of musicians die around the age 27, 28. Well, guess what? They didn't learn their lessons, and Saturn killed them. It's just what it is. So a lot of us have major shifts around their life. People have major shifts around their life. I know an individual who literally went to jail when he was 28. He had to learn a lesson. He had to quit dealing drugs. I mean, Saturn don't play around. So if you are around those ages, and I'll put the ages on here for the Saturn cycles for the average individual. If you're around your 30s or around your almost 60, late 20s, early 30s, late 50s, early 60s, you may be hitting a big shift. So just be aware of that. And fasting may help, and giving up food is like giving something up. And Saturn is all about that. Putting boundaries around things. Do as minimal, you only need you need what you need. You don't need any extra. All right, so this is the current situation or question. You have the Queen of Swords. So we're talking truth. Could be you. I mean, it has to be you, right? Libra, Queen of Swords, could be male or female. Looks like you're asking about a new perspective, or you're asking, if you're feeling stuck in a situation and that situation has to do with a lot of squabbling and arguing, or you're asking about a new perspective in whatever this mess is or this situation is, where people are arguing about something or something you're trying to get resolved, trying to get the truth of it, and you're asking about a new perspective, or if you should have a different perspective about it. Maybe you're looking for the truth in the situation or getting it resolved. And even right here, your current path, and it could have something to do with money or an inheritance or like your home, because it's like something's being offered to you, but you ain't seeing it. Like Four of Cups, you're like, no thanks. And then like the Five of Swords is like drawing a line in the sand and being like, okay, you're going to defeat someone in some kind of battle, whether it be verbal, or whatever. And it could be somebody in your home, and it could be something about money. Something like some kind of argument about money. Somebody's offering you some kind of settlement or like an insurance payout or something like that, inheritance, and you're like, that's not enough, or that's not what I agreed to, or even like a lawsuit. It's like, that's not what I agreed to. You're like, I agreed to this. And it could be something like with a home, signing off on a home, like a closing. And you're like, I agreed to this, or I agreed to pay this and the closing costs or whatever. And you're like, you're not fulfilling your end of the bargain at the last second, and maybe there's some arguments around something like that. It looks like it could be with a home or money, and that's one path that Libras can be on. This is the other path they can be on. It's like hard work. It's like moving forward happily and emotionally, offering love, or could be with a water sign individual, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, and it's like being established. So this other path is like working hard to be established, and specifically being established either with a water sign individual or being established in your like emotional world. Because that's what this guy is. He's like, look, everything behind me is green and good, and I've planted my rods and they're growing, and I'm looking out in front of me, and like I have everything behind me is shown who I am and what I am, and I'm moving forward to this barren wasteland, and I'm going to turn it into the same thing, a stable, lovely environment. And it could just be your inner emotional world, or it could be, a life you're building with a water sign. Advice. You get the heartbreak card here, but you have the Three of Swords, but you also have the Ace of Swords. And you have the Nine of Cups. So it's like, maybe you want clarity on a heartbreak, or like the truth of a heartbreak. It's like you have some wish around it. It could be saying, don't be heartbroken about whatever this situation is. Like the truth is going to come and set you free, kind of thing. Like you wish for the truth, and you're going to get it. You're going to get your wish of the truth or whatever clarity this is you're looking for. And it could be around a love relationship, because I said, but this says prosperity lies ahead. I mean, we did have, the lovers down here and the Two of Cups down here, but it's saying prosperity lies ahead. And, like I said, it's even with the lovers here and everything, it could just be like with your loved one you're doing this with, could be a separation or divorce. And it's like the truth is going to come out in whatever this situation is, or, if it is a divorce and you're going to get your wish. Or if it's your family with like a home or something like that, or some kind of inheritance in some way, or some way that something's being offered to you, like a payout. It could be with your loved ones, because it's saying prosperity lies ahead. So whatever the path is that you're going on, and it could be like a divorce settlement, right? Like the truth will come out and you're going to get your wish. And, the outcome is saying a message is coming in that's going to bring love, right? Because you have the Page of Swords there with the lovers and the Sun. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not about like divorce at all, right? It could be, and if it is, I mean, you've already, you got new love coming in, or if it's you're separating from a situation, or you're moving your family to a new home, or you're trying to sell your home kind of thing. You don't necessarily don't like the offer, or maybe you're just heartbroken about whatever this situation is, but you don't really need to be. Right? Love's going to carry you through. I mean, the spotlight, you have the Sun and the lovers, so like it's the spotlight on love. Prosperity lies ahead. And I don't prosperity doesn't necessarily mean money. I think it just means like the whole package, like the family, the home, the dream husband or wife, all that. And it could be a child too, because look, little baby on the horse. I think something's coming to light for sure. Like a message of love is coming to light for you as well. This is the outcome. Some kind of message of love for sure. Or a message from a loved one or your lover. Definitely could be. Like the advice is saying like maybe that you're heartbroken, but you don't need to be heartbroken because you're going to get your wish. Like if this situation is breaking your heart in some way or upsetting you, especially if it involves family, like if it's an inheritance of a home, arguing with siblings kind of thing. If it's like a law, like a case in law, like a lawsuit or something, because this could definitely be that. If you're asking about a lawsuit and you're feeling stuck in it, or you're feeling stuck in a situation that you don't feel like you're gaining ground or getting the truth that you want, it's coming. The truth is coming. Oh, right there. Pleasure. It's faded. Wheel of Fortune's there, and you got the clarity again. You got the Ace of Swords again. So yeah, it's the sword of truth. It's on the current situation about what you're asking about. You're asking about your fate in a situation, right? You're asking about trying to get clarity. And it could be around pleasure, the things that make you happy. It could be definitely family. The people you surround yourself with in some way. It's interesting. But it's definitely fated, or you're asking about fate. Like you're asking about what the situation's going to be. Your perspective, or either you're feeling stuck, or you're asking, whether you should have a new perspective in this different kind of clarity about whatever's being offered here when it comes to this situation with money or a home. Or even family life, or just, your family relationships even. Whether it be like siblings, aunts, uncles, mother, father, any of that stuff. Or any of those individuals in your life. The same prosperity lies ahead, so you're going to get what's coming, and it's going to be good. I just don't think you see it right now, and you're kind of upset. Maybe there's a lot of squabbling going on, but you're going to get yours in the end. Oop, right there. Yep, Chariot, victory. Could have something to do with the Cancer. If it has to do with a relationship, maybe there's a Cancer in your life. Maybe this Cancer is what's offering you this. Like maybe they're offering you a truce. Maybe you're at odds with a Cancer in some way. And, because you got the victory, you got, the Chariot, which is a Cancer card. You got the Knight of Cups. He's literally holding a crab in his cup. He'd definitely be a Cancer. And you're saying material gain. I mean, it's victory in the situation, but it could definitely involve a Cancer. Like the individual that's offering you this could be a Cancer. And you got the gain with the Ten of Pentacles. So you're getting paid. And, I think somebody's offering you something money-wise, most likely, or somehow it involves money. And it could be with a Cancer, or maybe it's the Cancer that's offering you, or it's because of the Cancer that you're getting this money. But whatever's being offered you, you're like, no. Or the way people are approaching you, you're like, yo, I'm drawing a line in the sand right here. This is where I stand on it, and I'm not budging. And like, this is how it has to happen. This is either the amount I want to pay. This is the amount I want to get. I want this specific house. I want these specific things done to it before I move in. Those kind of things. Or or you're trying to alter your actual family home. You're like, look, I'm only willing to go so far with the way things are going right now. And things have to change. It could be with a Cancer. Maybe your spouse is a Cancer. Maybe your boyfriend or somebody might be offering you some love. And it may be with a Cancer. If it is new love, it's probably going to be with a water sign. Cancer makes a great mate for anybody. Cancers are very caring. And if Cancer, marries you, most likely, they love you. If they're heavy Cancer, because that's very motherly, like nurturing type energy. I mean, any individual can have horrible circumstances happen to them in their life and not be the best person, even if they're Cancer. But if they're the average normal individual and they have a lot of Cancer in their chart, they're probably going to be very caring. And what this individual is offering, they're offering you, but you're not wanting to see it. Maybe they're offering you money in some way for some reason. Maybe you have Cancer in your chart. And you're like, look, this is what I really want. It's interesting. They could be offering you a home. I don't see the Hierophant or any marriage cards here. So you're either already married or if you're single. It's like Justice. You have 3 major arcanas on this path. It's like working to be established. Like, over here, it's like working to be established emotionally. And again, it could be a water sign. It could be a Cancer. Scorpio or Pisces as well. But with the Chariot, it kind of screams Cancer. But on this path, you have the Devil, which in this deck is more of a creative energy. Because he's a phallus with testicles. And the testicles have like people in them. Like you're trying to create a new project. And like also, right here, the Empress creating new projects. Then you have balance or justice or adjustment. So it could be legal. Definitely could be legal. And you're like waiting for, the result. And you've been working hard on this case or something like that. And he could be getting pregnant. Maybe that's the situation. You got pregnant. I mean, definitely. Or you got someone pregnant, right? Because that's what this would be. And you're trying to find balance in between that, Or you're looking for justice so that you can start a new project. So you don't feel chained to the old project or the old way you were doing things. And you're adjusting to this new creation or new project over here. Or a new individual that you're falling in love with. It definitely could be a Cancer. And you may be, that might be what it's saying over here. You might be worried about the individual. Like you don't know yet whether they're, maybe it's a new relationship and you don't really know if they're the one kind of thing. And you're worried about heartbreak. But it looks like it's all good if that's the case. Especially, if they're a Cancer anyway. Yeah, I think you're focusing on the wrong cups. Like you got the Princess of Discs, art, which is temperance, creating or being patient or being balanced or healing, and disappointment, which is the 5 of Cups. And it's down here on the advice. So, and I put it on the 3 of Swords specifically. So if you're focusing on the negative or you're worried about the situation, however it presented itself, whether it has to do with, money, some kind of squabbling about money, or whether it has to do with a new relationship coming in or even pregnancy or something like that. Maybe you're feeling disappointed, but this is saying it's going to be all good. Stay patient, stay balanced, with the art here, and you're going to be just fine. Everything will work out. It'll balance out. Even financially it will. It's basically saying emotionally and financially it will. With the Princess of Discs, she's holding that pinnacle. And the emotions would be the, disappointment. That'd be your emotions. So emotionally and fiscally, like with your money, I think you're going to be all good. And it says prosperity lies ahead. So I think, you got new money coming in. If it has something to do with the job, it may be a rough ending at an old job. Like they weren't offering you enough money. And you're like, yo, I'm not having it. And maybe your boss was a Cancer. Maybe you have Cancer in your chart. And you're like, yo, that's not enough money. That's not what you promised me. Or maybe like it's a severance package or like 401k or something. You're like, oh, that's not what I was told. I think you're gonna get what you're supposed to get. You just gotta hold out. Stick to your truth. Got the lovers on the lovers. Yeah, if it's definitely could be a love reading, right? I mean, I think no matter what, or it's saying that have faith in your loved ones. Put your emotions and your thoughts with your loved ones. Think about them, because you have the Prince of Swords and the Princess of Cups. And, that's generally moving energy. Both of those are moving cards. That's emotions and your mind. And this can be a balance card to lovers. It can be a balance card because it's Gemini. Is what this card represents. And the zodiac, it's Gemini. That's what rules the card of the lovers. And the outcome is all good. The sun is shining. And, it has to do with love. The lovers. Maybe you're with a water sign because it's, a sword, Libra, Prince of Swords, Princess of Cups. Could be Cancer again. Could be a Libra-Cancer connection in some way. And that's coming into great love. And it could be that if it is something to do with work and maybe your boss was a Cancer, some kind of balance is going to come out of that. I feel like selling a house. And Cancer's a motherly card, and it's a moon card. And it's, or it's a moon sign. And in some way, it could be getting balanced out, whatever the situation is, with the home or financially. And it could be that, like I said, it could be new love coming in, and it could be a Cancer. Absolutely. And that's beautiful. I mean, the outcome's good. You got the sun with the lovers. So, I mean, it's going to be beautiful, bright, happy love. And it's like a message coming in about it. I mean, y'all could be in the spotlight in some way. You and your family, or, you and your loved one. You and your spouse, or you and your family in general, your loved ones. For some reason, you're being brought to light, right? Or you're being brought into the light, which is a wonderful thing, which is a good thing with this conjunction and this opposition happening. I can tell you that right now. This is some rough energy. Saturn is the devil of astrology, and the sun, which is opposite in this case, is the son of God, or, the Christ light, that type of thing. Horus or Osiris, sun, solar. It's a solar deity. Ra, it's a solar deity. And it's always a solar deity. It always represents the good. Ahura Mazda compared to Ahriman, which would be Saturn, Satan, Shaitan. All the names for Satan. Ahriman. I mean, Saturn represents that. And that's the microcosm. To us, it'd be a microcosm because it's bigger than us. But as far as the scale of the universe, it's a microcosm of what the evil energy is, or the devil in the material world that is dual. And good and bad, and the sun would be the good energy, or God, or the son of God, that type of thing. And that's why this is a good time to bring things to the light so that you can integrate them. Anyway, Libra, that's all I have. Please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. It would mean the world to me. You don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just grateful for your view. But yeah, either way, happy full moon, Libra. And I absolutely wish you the best. And it looks like it's all going to turn out for the better. Have a good one.